IVM.
$100. That's all it takes to begin your journey with Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, really. With CoinSwitch, you can start investing in over 100 cryptocurrencies with just 100 rupees. On top of that, there are zero charges for deposits and withdrawals, so you can trade, buy, sell, however and whenever you want. All of this, plus their extremely intuitive interface, makes CoinSwitch the perfect app for beginners in the crypto space. But don't take my word for it. Just download CoinSwitch for free and try it out for yourself. If you'd like more information on cryptocurrencies, tune into a show about crypto with me, Rohan Joshi, my new adventure on IVM podcasts. CoinSwitch, kuch to badlega.
Many of you who tune into my episodes usually find me shouting. I'm calling all of us out on drama, one episode after another. But the perspective that I'm going to share in today's episode might shock some of you. Not because it's something new or it's something unheard of, but because you may realize that that is exactly what you have been doing all this while. Hi, I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach, and this is Say No to Drama. What would you say if I told you that the comfort zone isn't always pain-free? What would you say if I told you that amongst therapists, psychologists, life coaches, and healing practitioners, it is common knowledge that people often become comfortable in pain and choose to stay there? Yes, there are many people who go through depression, anxiety, and many other mental health conditions. And they are possibly people who are in a space where they can heal themselves, obviously through help, maybe even through medication. But the biggest struggle that they have is convincing themselves that life, when they are healed, will not be scary, will not be harder than it is in the pain. So many times, many of us choose uncomfortable situations and toxic situations because we'd much rather deal with the known, and unfortunately it has become the known, than make the effort to flow into the unknown, which is the healthier place. I'll give you another example because this is not just about somebody battling a mental health condition. People who are in toxic relationships that involve abuse, they stay in that for years and years and some more years because making an effort to get out of it and building a life where they will be on their own without this toxic partner is harder than staying in that relationship and dealing with that pain. Now, honestly, you may listen to this and say, what rubbish. How can dealing with pain be easier than getting out of it? But ask somebody who is in that toxic relationship, ask somebody who is down and out, whose fuel tank is running on reserve and sometimes completely empty. For that person to make a tiny choice that would be healthier is so difficult that they'd much rather just be where they are. Why am I sharing this with you today? Because if you are doing this, then seek help. Seek help to build up your resilience, to fill your fuel tank with tiny amounts of the right kind of fuel that will allow you and help you to make the changes that you need to make. If you are somebody who is doing this, I also want you to know that don't look at the finish line. Forget about that happy life that everybody's trying to push you towards. Only think about making one better choice today. Yes, literally as small as that. One tiny choice that is better than what you have been doing for the day. The big misconception is that change requires big action. But the honest truth is that change requires many tiny actions. So I'm asking you this today. Can you make one better choice for yourself? Maybe it is to stop complaining. Maybe it is to sleep on time. Maybe it is to cook yourself your favorite meal. Maybe it is to stay silent where otherwise you would have screamed and shouted and, fought back. Maybe it is to call somebody, to just have a conversation. Maybe it is to tell someone who you really trust that you are not okay. Don't ask me any further questions. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. but I need you to know that I am not okay and I need you to be there for me. You could start with something as small as any of these. And yes, if you are somebody who is sitting in pain and who has resigned to pain because you think you have no other options, even these choices may seem like a very, very big step to take. So I'll break it down a little bit more for you. Sit with these options for the next 3 days. Every day, just tell yourself, I'm going to choose better for myself today. Or at least I'm going to ask myself if I'm willing to choose better for myself today. You do this for 3 or 4 days, you will reach a point where, without knowing it, without it being some big amount of effort, you will do something better for yourself. It may not be any of the options that you have outlined, but it will still be a tiny step in the right direction for yourself. I know that some of you listening to this are feeling restless. Some of you might be feeling anxious. And if you are feeling that way, just take a deep breath. Exhale whatever you are feeling. And remember, you don't have to do anything right now. Maybe listening to this episode is your that one tiny step. This is your better choice for today. And you know what? It is enough for now. It is very common for all of us to become comfortable in pain. And a lot of times this happens because if we choose differently, we might be letting somebody down. We might be going against something that somebody very important to us believes in. We might be going against our parents. We might quit our job and somebody will tell us, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? It could be any of these things. It doesn't necessarily have to be a toxic situation or a mental health condition, but know that very often you will struggle to make a change because you have chosen the pain. You are subconsciously choosing the pain, the uncomfortable situation. I'll give you an easier situation that we find ourselves in, and so many of us have already been there. When you are in a job that you hate and you want to quit, and you know that you can do something better, but it takes you like 2 years of thinking, talking, ranting, venting, discussing before you send in that resignation letter, before you find that strength to be bold enough to take that step. So know that being comfortable in pain happens in many different situations and in many different intensities. If you are doing this, simply choose better every single day in the tiniest possible way. I know that I've given you a lot to think about today. Some of you might even be having a kind of an aha moment, like we practitioners like to call it. But if you are in this kind of a situation, you want to get out of it, reach out to me. You can listen to all my previous episodes as well. There are lots of tips there to help you take tiny actions to change your life, to get you out of those bad situations that you find yourself in. All the previous episodes are available on the IVM Podcast app and website, and you can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is IVM Podcast. And if you would like to reach out to me, DM me on Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Advertising is Dead, Varun is joined by Alex Dweck of NAS Academy. They discuss creators becoming educators. On Misconduct, Raghavi and Nisha look into the defamation suit against controversial actress Kangana Ranaut. On Audio Gyan, Kedar speaks to industrial designer Sharat Chauhan. They discuss designing home appliances. On Smarter with Sid, Siddharth explains the difference between two kinds of campaigns, awareness building and brand building. And on Hans Vani, hear how two cancer patients fall in love in the story Grey Shades. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. And also remember, you can check out a lot of our stuff on YouTube. Go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube and you'll get a list of all the various channels that we do have. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and CoinSwitch Kuber. Thank you so much for making this possible.
सफर, रास्ते, मंजिल और मुकाम अक्सर ये हमसे कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, पर हम हैं कि अपनी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में इन्हें सुनने से कतराते हैं। नमस्ते दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है केशव चतुर्वेदी और मैं आपको ले चलूंगा कुछ ऐसे सफर पर जहां आपको एक नया नजरिया मिलेगा सफर और मंजिलों को देखने का। आइए इन किस्से कहानियों में डूब जाएं। हर मंगलवार और शुक्रवार